All right. So, uh, this is my milestone one. I've got this pulled up right here. Just finished that. Haven't checked it off yet. There we go. So I'm just gonna go over each of these and basically highlight where they are over here, and then look at them in game. It's not a functional level yet, so I can't really go through that. That should be completed on day 2. So let's go through it. Uh, First thing is the general room outline. That I have right in here in the basic room models folder. Basically, it's just going to be these walls, and then, well, that's all that step was actually, because I have a separate step for making these different alcoves and stuff. So that one's really easy. If I just fly out, I made them rather large to make sure I had plenty of room to work with the closet. Um, oh yeah, and I did put a glass ceiling in. This is not functional and the player will never know it, but all it really did is it let me kind of line things up with a bird's eye view to make sure that things actually looked centered and they were where I wanted them to be. I don't know. I thought that was a smart little touch as far as just the development process, because only that texture's glass, so the player never knows. Currently, we just have some temporary lighting, because lighting comes in with day 2, since lighting's a variable I'm going to be manipulating. Here's... Oh, wait, no. Sorry. That's a different thing, too. But yeah, so that's step 1. Nice and quick. Detailed room outline. Go back and add in the stairway, closet space, vent space, and ceiling trapdoor for the room. The ceiling trapdoor, I actually realized, was wholly unnecessary. The idea was that a ball was going to drop through, but that was a relic from back when, what is it? From when I was going to have a ball for each different thing. Now I'm just going to have the balls on the desk, and everything's going to give it a different color. So that shouldn't be necessary. If it is, I guess I can go back. It's really just adding a, what's it called? Subtractive brush into the ceiling, and then 2 doors. So that one's not here, but what we do have are the stairway. I actually really am happy with how this turned out. So this entire basement is actually modeled after my own basement. And what we have is we have the first stairway, which is just a stairway brush, linear stairs. But then under it, we have another stairway in the subtractive brush. And what this stairway does is it stops, because if you just take this, let me just drag a second one through. Also, half the stairway. Oh, never mind. Let me drag that through. You'll notice the stairs, when you do that, have this huge under area, and my stairs don't at my house. They're kind of floating, built into this wall that's next to them. So we have that. And that gives that nice little effect. This is just put inside the subtractive brush afterwards, so it doesn't actually get subtracted itself. And then we have these. These are also subtractive brushes. I believe there's also one right here and here. And what those do is we have this little alcove that we can just access. So they make sure that the stairs don't just have a giant flat wall going through, because that would have made it really hard for me to access things in real life, and I guess that's why they took it out there. So I just made sure this mixed. So the stairs actually have a lot going on. It's not just dropping in a staircase. And I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. This part actually, too, is intentional. I could have done this or something, and like put that in line, and then world moved this up and made it additive. Well, and thinned it out, and then it would go all the way up to the top. But I went downstairs and was looking at my basement. We actually have this. I assume they just left it off because even though it doesn't look so nice, it's just how buildings work. It's like not a necessary piece. It doesn't add any structure. So they cut that corner there, and I mean, it's not like I'm really cutting a corner. It would have taken me about 20 seconds, as you just saw, to put it in. But I thought it'd be better to leave it so it actually matches how my house really is. Now, enough about the staircase. Over here we have the closet. Closet's just a subtractive brush added to put a hole in the door, and then a bit frame behind it. It's really simple. This vent is also a subtractive brush, and then you have it going up. So that way when players look, if you're actually paying attention, you can see that, hey, that vent doesn't just go into a wall. It actually vents upward. So I like that. Next we have established location for each prop as it will later fit. That's a bit hard to actually show because I got rid of those as I moved further into the process. Basically, what it was is like you see how this whole rug is gold. That's still a placeholder. Every prop had one of these, so all it was is like, here, let's drag a second one out and just show you. So it would be something like this, and then for the ice boxes outline was just this. So it was basically just showing, hey, this is where a prop's gonna go, and it let me plan out how the room should actually be. It's also where my first no, it's not actually. That's the next step. So I'll save that for right now. Step 4. Don't know why I had a number all of a sudden. Create all the prop models, placing them in their designated locations, and making changes necessary so that they will fit. This was the first time that I noticed I had my washing machine and dryer in my, what's it called? My paper map. Way too big. Like, they were massive units. They filled up, they were like 7 feet across. It was stupid. This is also where I ended up removing the boiler because I realized no matter how I did it, I tried microing the props a lot on the boiler, and I could not get it to be noticeably definable as a boiler. The icebox, mine downstairs actually says freezer on it, so this will too once I get there. So that was obvious enough, but it feels weird if I just label the boiler boiler. Like, the icebox is labeled because iceboxes in general tend to be just these big, large, rectangular prisms, and so they're not really definable. Boilers people can notice, but it's because of the little details they have, and those little details just aren't practical for me to be able to notify, like, detail in myself. So I didn't have that option. So I got rid of the boiler, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to fill in a couch in that spot. But going over each of my props, because I'm actually really happy with how they turned out, here's what went into each of them. So we have the washing machine first. Washing machine, it's got this cylinder. I made these into, well, these types, what are they called? Static mesh, I believe. Yes, static mesh actors, there it is. So that they'd be able to move during the animation phase. And here are the buttons. I felt like this was clear enough. Which one's which? I don't want to have to label them. I know at my house and all the other houses I've seen, washing machine's left, dryer's right, and the washing machine almost always has this little thing in the back with the buttons. I don't know why dryers don't. But anyway, if we open this up, we get to see this mess. I needed to be able to cut an inside because the washing machine is actually utilized in my level. But you can't make these subtractive. So what I did is here we go, tons of cylinder brushes rotated to different angles to get as close to a sphere as possible. It's not pretty, but it's what we got, and you'll see it's on this side too. There it is. We got our little buttons, so that's just the washing machine and dryer units. Close those up. Icebox, nice and simple. You've got your lid. It moves off. Then you have subtractive brush on the inside so that the icebox actually has an inner piece. That's nice and easy. The desk is the first place I actually used these types of props, besides the chair. But the chair's its own thing, so I don't think that counts. And then these, when I get to the texturing phase, I'm actually going to make out of glass because that's what my desk is. I have this little glass desk. It's got the nice pillars. It's an L desk. And so when we walk into player, please. Ah, it did shoot. I'm sorry if that hurt your ears. I don't know how to not do that. We have this. You can walk in here. Everything's fully navigatable. Circuit breaker, which might need, I'm not sure how I'm going to work that necessarily yet, but you can fit in through all the desk space. I pulled the chair back just to make sure it didn't get in the way of the player. Even if I made it able to be knocked around by physics, it could get like stuck in the corner or something. So chair will be able to be interacted as a physics object, but for now it's in the back corner. Yeah, and you have full access to the desk. It's nice and it's simple and like just well done. And then play test, that's what I got done right before I got here. Didn't really find anything new. I will show you the closet that door's going to slide open. You got these. I didn't put these 2 desks in because the other door doesn't slide. It's kind of that simple. I might give that option, but what I don't want to make this door slide because even though mine in real life does, that could lead to the trap of the player going like this, not seeing an item here and going, oh, nothing in the closet. kind of want to save the players from themselves in that instance. Make it so only this door slides open when you interact anywhere in this area, and then they'll see the ball that they, the light that they need access to. So just kind of stops them from accidentally thinking that, hey, there's nothing here. There we go. So yeah, that's my current level. As we are up to right now, room size, walls, stairs, and closets. I actually had a bit more to do with that. Not like it wasn't just super easy is basically what I mean there. I actually went in and did some stuff there, so I'm happy with how that turned out. Locations of props, not a step I can really show you. Prop models I went over, and I'm really happy with how they turned out for the most part. I think everything's pretty definable, other than the boiler, which I actually had to remove. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next milestone tomorrow.